we didn't get just one. We didn't get two. We got 3 in 9 seconds. Dimitri, USA, Canada. Tell me about it. How'd you feel after that Saturday night, buddy?
Take it away from him.
Sports show.
The barn is alive again.
Got me in my hormones. All gas, no brakes. Score 4-0. If you think you won,
We're live,
you get
on
4 goals.
live,
I've been in my
episode
head, but it's not about a T3.
344
I like to
of the
learn, but
Sports
there's
Show.
nothing you can teach me. We all
That
got
is
opinions.
correct,
About
Mitch.
hit
You're
or
listening
reach,
to
and
The
bitches.
Sports Show, brought to you by Mitch and Dimitri at Sports Show Podcast. Remember that.
Remember it.
At Sports Show Podcast.
Oh.
You can subscribe to the channels that we have laid out for you on YouTube, on Instagram. You can stream and download the audios on Spotify, on Podbean. We're on the CJSW 90.9 FM, which is fantastic. That's the CJSW. That's the CJSW show.
We were on just this last week.
We were on just this last week, third Tuesday of every month. It's fantastic. It's great. It's beautiful. But we are here, and I'm back.
Hey,
Live.
Good to see ya.
Studio.
good to see you.
Good to be here.
Some people were going, oh, where is he calling from? A cave? Good joke. Listen, at the end of the day, how about he showed up?
Nice.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else that got a hernia. Double hernia.
Double.
Two-time.
Two-time hernia champion of the week.
And he showed up.
And I showed up. And guys, it's a big deal. It's not just one hernia, it's two. So when you talk about this is where these athletes, and we'll get to you.
Yeah, relax.
NBA.
Okay,
buddy. Okay, we'll get to
buddy.
You play through things.
Yeah.
You play
exactly.
through it. But look, it's it was a thing, man. I gotta tell you, look, I had a lot of, and a lot of people were asking, and a lot of people were sent their support, and I want to thank you for that. That's very heartfelt.
That's nice.
I thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, but we're doing okay.
Yeah.
It's a time game. You just got to take it easy. They said the pain was like, I saw the Mitch, the pain was like a 4-day endeavor,
Right.
maybe 5.
Where
you're like, oh man, you need the painkillers.
Right.
You got to have those meds.
You gotta get
You
'em.
got to have the meds.
Yeah, Big Pharma came through.
Big Pharma. Big Pharma kid. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
You guys can say whatever you want about these people.
Yeah.
We need them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like there's just this one product, well, maybe 2 or 3, that that's what they're really popular for.
Right.
And the rest of them, if they, whatever. But, I mean, the Ozempic right now is through the roof. And, buddy, are they not advertising on every stream that you're a part?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into it right now. Look, I was going to peruse, and I did some perusing. We'll talk at the very end. Don't worry about it. Because, truthfully, it didn't matter who you are, what you're about. Over the last week, there's been one topic it doesn't matter if it's political, it doesn't matter if it's sports-oriented. It was Canada versus U.S., this 4 nations / supposed to be an all-star game kind of thing, turned into an absolute world headliner. Like, dude, everybody was talking about it. Let's get right into it. This is the Saturday show. Last Saturday at this time, Dimitri, Canada took on the U.S., We said, you know what, look, this is the first game of the series. They're going to see each other in the gold medal game. We already know this. What did we expect? USA came out and played Canada's game. If we can say a couple of nice things about the guys to the south, it's this. They've been taking notes. The Kachucks were taking notes. And they took us to Canada school on last Saturday. Let's start there and then take it right to that gold medal game. Dimitri, that start of that hockey game, I think, not just caught everyone off guard, it caught literally the only 2 teams that knew that was allowed, that you were allowed to fight in that tournament were those 2 teams. I don't even think the commentators knew you were allowed to fight, because in international rules, we're all very aware you can't fight, Olympics, this, that. No one was waiting for that. And we didn't get just 1. We didn't get 2. We got 3 in 9 seconds. Dimitri, USA, Canada, tell me about it. How'd you feel after that Saturday night, buddy?
How did I feel? I'm still riding high of the whole thing. I'll tell you how I felt. I felt a couple things when I saw it happen. Number 1, old-time hockey is still beloved and respected, whether you like it or not. And I'll say old-time anything.
Yeah.
Old-time, because NBA, we ain't leaving this podcast until I talk to him. You are
100%.
Hey, NBA,
I got it in the notes.
NBA,
I got it in the notes.
Stay in the corner.
Yeah.
You turn around. You're in a timeout. You stay in the corner. You wait your turn. We will get to you. Old-time hockey is great.
Yeah.
Old-time hockey, old-time sports, grit is great. Emotion, passion, fantastic. You know who laid it out the best in broad TV? We hate to plug other people, but you got to take a look. As you watch PK Subban.
Yeah.
You know, because we're juxtaposing this with the All-Star game, because typically this would have been All-Star weekend for the NHL.
That's correct.
And they elected to do the Four Nations. You tell me one person that misses the skills competition and misses the All-Star game itself. Why? Because this is what the All-Star game should be. The world's best.
Yeah.
And the league's best. Just going for it. Playing for something that they mean, that they care about. And not looking back. So here's what I love what the Americans do. They go in and they say, hey, we're sending a message.
That's right.
Love it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nobody backs down. Now everyone realizes, okay, we got it. But the Americans made one mistake.
Oh, really?
They made one mistake.
What do you think they did?
When you send the message, you got to cripple the people you're sending the message to.
Well said.
See, you're going after the Canadians saying, we're going to punch them and beat them at their own game, at their own style. We're going to get them.
Right.
But you got to get them. And what you can't do is start 3 of those fights and lose 2 or 3.
That's a good point.
You have to win those fights.
You got to win those ones.
And then, actually, when you're out of the box, you got to go again.
Okay, so
and again.
Real quick on that one. Who won? Matthew Tkachuk, Hagel. Who won that one in your eyes?
I got to give that close to a tie. I'm going to go a little Matty Tkachuk there.
You're going to go Matty Tkachuk?
Yeah.
I got to go Hagel on that one. I'm going to go with the scorecards. I'm going to go personally. Okay, so I got one. You got. Then Bennett went with, who did Bennett fight?
Oh, sorry. Okay, no, I'm mixing up fights. I do go with Hagel.
Okay, you go with Hagel
With
on that
Tkachuk,
one. All right.
yeah.
And then Bennett, it was Bennett and the other Tkachuk.
That's right. I think Brady.
Okay,
I got the Brady on that one.
You got Brady on that one. See,
do.
I would have called that one a tie.
See, here's the thing. It was really close, but I'm looking at punches landed now.
Right.
Because it went to the scorecards.
Right, it went to the scorecards, yeah.
You know?
And then the last one was Popko and JT Miller.
Yeah, Parayko
And-
just.
he killed him.
Yeah.
And JT Miller, I'll give him a lot of credit for 2 things. He wanted that fight. He was itching. He wanted to go with anyone, and he dropped the gloves. And watching those 3 in the penalty box was more entertaining than anything. The whole thing I'm going to say to you on Saturday night was that Canada got that wake-up call that USA goes, hey, we've been taking notes. This is what you guys are good at. Big, physical hockey team, check. We're going to be the aggressor, check. We beat you 3-1 by nothing stylish, nothing crazy, just good, old-fashioned, as Dimitri said, hockey. Game point, USA wins. Then the next day comes Sunday. Canada was in uproar. We couldn't believe that we got worked that bad. And when I say we were upset, I mean everyone had every excuse in the book. And the number one excuse was what? Well, Makar didn't play. Didn't play.
No.
Listen, look, Makar is amazing. There is no doubt. I know me and Dimitri joke around a lot about superstars and this and that and the other. Makar, no one can touch him. He is easily, maybe very close to the best player in the entire National Hockey League. But was he the main reason that they lost on Saturday night? No.
No. The reason they lost on Saturday night
is
the reason also why the U.S. lost on.
Hold
on.
Yep.
When you have 2 teams that are just that damn good, it comes down to just the little things. Crosby cost the game for the Canadians.
Yeah.
That's all plain and simple.
Yeah.
He made an ill-timed pass across the middle that got intercepted, and Binnington led in the softie.
That's right.
Right? So, it was these small little pockets of air.
That's another thing. Throw in that guy. So everyone's like, well, Makar didn't play. And Billington's not that great. He's not that great, man.
He sucks, man.
Maybe it's time to get Aiden Hill in here, right,
Siv?
bud? Bud?
What a sieve.
You know, and I love listening to all this because we the Canadians, are here sitting here going, you know, we'll find every excuse. But the thing is, deep down, even when you were a little upset, didn't you just know we're fine?
Yeah.
Didn't you just know deep down? Let me ask you this. The game was played in Montreal, okay, the first game. People were booing the U.S. national anthem, which, again, I don't want to go into the whole politics talk, but talk about great timing. The fact that USA, Big Brother right now, wants to put on these tariffs, big bad Donald Trump is causing all these issues, blah, blah, blah. It's Canada, US in Montreal. Montreal fans booing USA. Now, here's the thing, little Quebec fan, and I'm going to be honest with you. That's not how us Canadians do things, okay? We want them to be nice to us. Because after this game's done and it's over, look what you did now. Yeah. Now you got them mad at us.
Yeah, now the tariffs are going up. See, now
they're up again.
Because the thing is where we said, hey, America, if you're going to hit someone, you got to beat the Canadians.
Beat them.
Otherwise, they're going to... Guys. Maybe...
Did anyone get the memo?
Maybe let's not boo them.
Yeah.
Yet.
Now, here's the thing. One thing I liked about Montreal is they still booed Marchand. I thought that was kind of funny. But can I be honest with you? I know everyone's like, oh, it's the Mecca of hockey and this and that, blah, blah. Is it though? Can I be that guy for a minute? Do you not feel that game maybe should have been in Toronto? And I don't know why. It's just, I'm not saying, like, this isn't about the Maple Leafs and the Canadians. This is just like, right now, this series, NHL is literally put itself in the map. Like NBA, hey, get back in the corner.
Turn around.
All I'm saying is Toronto, I think, would have been just that extra little spice that was missing and maybe got a little bit more American viewership. I don't know why I feel that way.
Well, hold on. Number one, what would have been cool is because in Toronto, you would have gotten Matthews and Marner on opposite sides of the fence.
Also a good point.
It would have been fun, right?
Yes.
So what do you do there?
What do you do?
But I get, to me, I'm indifferent on it. Like the Montreal fans are...
They're rabid.
They're crazy passionate.
Ole, all day.
But to your point, is Montreal the Mecca city of hockey in Canada?
Oh, boy.
Not now.
Oh, boy.
Like, you got to do something. Like, if you guys are going to criticize us Greeks for constantly bringing up the 2004 Euro Cup, which by the way was the greatest Euro Cup win of all time. Don't come down on us. That's because same as you, Montreal fan, you haven't won nothing since '94.
Right.
Okay. And so you did a bunch of stuff in the '50s.
Right.
Like, let's get over it.
Big deal.
Okay. So to me, it's Toronto right now.
I would have liked to see it in Toronto. And may I throw this at? It should have been a Toronto-Buffalo instead of a Montreal-Boston. Because we've done the pod where there could have been a trade made. This is where Trump really wants a piece of us. This could have been that trade that we made.
Listen,
we could have got Buffalo for free, you guys. I'm just saying that. Just letting you know.
We could have got Buffalo for free.
They weren't going to give up a Boston. No. But we could have got a Buffalo.
Boston's a little greedy.
Boston's a couple of first-round draft picks. Buffalo, we were getting for a bag of pucks.
Bag of pucks.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a big bag of pucks.
That's what I'm saying. So then
can I say something about the booing of the national anthem?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Listen to me, sports fan, or any fan, or just anybody. Is booing someone else's national anthem like not a good thing? Of course, it's not a good thing. That's not. Yeah. It's not nice. It's not respectful.
No.
But for the love of God, the last time I checked, we're playing sports here. We don't like the people that are coming in.
That's right.
Playing against us when we have home. Grow up, everyone. Have a little bit of a thicker skin. Take it easy. The last time I checked, this was 70s hockey all over. And no one can sit here and tell me that it wasn't nice that they booed the anthem. You can't tell me that you didn't like it either.
Yeah.
So you can give me a break. So I'm talking to you, Canadian fan, that's right. Like, oh, shucks, gee willikers. We should, we're better than that. Yeah, we are better than that, but we don't have to be better than that.
That's right.
Boo.
Agreed.
Get out of here.
And P.S., what have we told you? We're wrestling fans. You guys didn't like the promo. You didn't like the booing that got a little bit of extra itch on this fight. Like, come on, you guys. What are we talking about?
Toughen up.
So then both teams had another, they had to play again. So Canada took on Finland, ends up taking them out. No problem there. USA against Sweden. I have one thing to say. After everything that's been going on in Vancouver, JT Miller and Pettersson, I'm looking at you two. After everything that was done, and now the trade is complete. JT, how could you not take advantage of this situation, buddy? You found out on Saturday fighting was allowed. I know Pettersson's not going to fight you, But I'm just saying there's other guys on that team you probably could have grabbed and said, hey, Patterson, this is you. And just do. Yeah, this was a golden opportunity. You missed it. You missed it.
Yeah, he did.
Am I right?
But we were all waiting for it.
And on top of it, they beat you 2-1. And you let the Swedes beat you? This is what I'm saying. What have I talked about the heaters? What have I said about the heaters? 1 game, 0 game doesn't matter. The heater is a heater.
Mitch, that was such an opportunity. I was just waiting. I'm like, please, JT.
Come
get
on.
him. He's on the ice now. Get him.
It's like they'd never met before. JT, hey, Pedersen, right? Like, what's going on? Did you not see this?
Who didn't see this?
That's the only reason people chimed into that game, because USA automatically was in the gold medal game.
Yes.
Only one reason people chimed in. They're like, he's not going to do anything?
Like, the guy got you off the team. You're not going to take a run at him. But you pick on Colton Parayko, who's like 8 feet taller than you, in an attempt of valor,
exactly,
which we all respect. And then Pedersen is like, "Oh, you were here. Sorry, I didn't see you. I was just on the bench."
Oh, you're on this Swedish team.
Sorry. You know, the whole time we played together, I thought that you were from Kazakhstan. Honest mistake.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Kazaki Patterson. That's who I thought you were. I lost a little respect for JT. I'm going to be honest with you. I lost a little respect.
Brutal.
All right. So sets up. Here we go at the Thursday.
Picks up Parayko, gets his butt kicked.
You would think, even more reason to go into the Swedish game. Going, I'm going to redeem myself.
Yeah, totally.
No.
So you decided to go into the Costco with no game plan.
That's right.
But you're afraid to walk into IKEA where it has arrows for you on the floor. Great job.
Oh, yeah. Well done.
Great job.
Well done. So then both teams do what they need to do, and it's Canada versus Sweden, or Canada versus US. Thursday night, I am telling you, for 3 straight days, all media, all podcasts. It didn't matter. You could talk to a client that's never watched hockey, but they knew that this game was happening. And ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night, 6 p.m. here in Mountain Standard Time, the game puck was dropped. And can I just say, honestly, one of the best. Now, me and you got stuck doing some other things but we got the third and the overtime. We got to watch that in full effect. But maybe one of the greatest games I've seen in such a long time, Dimitri, because it really was a Disney movie. We joked about it last week. 1-0 lead, tied 1-1. 2-1 lead late, tied 2-2. And we head to overtime where during their little round robin, it was 3-on-3, which was fun. They said, nah, boys, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's 5-on-5, which we were okay with as well. And, I mean, can I just say one thing? Everyone's going to talk about Mitchy Marner. Hey, the good Mitch. Passing a beautiful puck over to McDavid. McDavid putting it top corner. But, guys, if you're not down with it, then this is all you need to know. Brady was robbed. Brady Tkachuk in that. Billington is the savior. My humble opinion, he didn't have maybe the greatest tournament, Dimitri. That save is not the save of the tournament, not the save of the year. This is the save of the century. I am telling you, that is one of the best saves I've ever seen, bro. Because Tkachuk fired that with everything in him, buddy. That guy had to make the nicest, best save I've ever seen.
I mean, you talk about moments. It's so crazy that all sports is, when it's all said and done, is moments.
Yeah.
That moment, it will go down. That whole thing. Like, they reference the 2010 Olympics, Crosby's golden goal, right? Like, that moment will never die. That's going to be on a highlight package, promotional package to do anything with Team Canada. This was one of those. Because it's not just a save. It was the save of saves.
Yes, it really was.
That was it. That was the chance. And you come up big and you're just like, holy smokes, when the stakes are high. This is where I want to go and just kind of peel this back a bit.
Sure.
And talk about the genius. This is where you got to have people that have the experience and a little bit of ice in their veins. Binnington is a cup winner.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
You need these people with experience in these moments to do these types of things. He made 3 saves for the championship.
Yes, he did, yeah. Like that one to me was
no, that one's just on another level. That was crazy. But this is why when people saying when you select a team and who you got, and you know what's crazy? We said that the worst, weakest link of Team Canada this year was the goaltending.
Yeah,
and it was and it was just not.
It was what saved it. It literally was what saved it. I mean, no pun intended, but
it's crazy.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. I'm going to say Mitch is right about one thing, though.
Yeah, what's that?
If you change the team.
Whoa, what? What is
the Tom Wilson?
That, you know what? In hindsight now, it's almost like it didn't matter. But yeah, I mean, on one end, so I'm going to be honest. I feel like I was the first one to bring it out and say it out loud and yell it screaming from the rooftops. And then, of course, the Spitting Chiclet guys got a hold of it and other people got a hold of it and people started chiming in on it. Here's the thing. In a weird way, the idea of me wanting Tom Wilson would have been so much better had they lost. Because they won, now it's kind of like
it's a moot
yeah,
point,
it could have been maybe, yeah, you're right. Maybe especially in that game on Saturday night. Overall scheme of things, I do still feel he would have been a way bigger factor and would have helped a lot more. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, just to get but
like
no.
Cirelli. Like, I'm not saying he was bad. He had a good tournament for what he was there for. But now Tom doing it, it's a highlighted version of what he was doing.
That's
right?
all.
That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Like the margin, but it was brought up and said, like, what do you do with Team Canada now? Do you change it for the 2026 Olympics? The answer is no. If Canada and the U.S. would be wise to keep the exact same crew together.
Right.
Because the chemistry now that everybody has together is just that much better.
Well, here, a lot of U.S. guys. So after the games won, of course, you're going to the media, you're going to the socials, you're seeing everything. And a lot of people are going, well, Makar was back, that's why he won. But then U.S. guy goes, well, McAvoy was up, which is a good point, too. He really kept McDavid and the boys in check in that first game they played. And quick question about that. So this is where fake news is hilarious. Everyone and their dog going, oh, Quinn Hughes is on his way over. He's coming. Where he didn't start the tournament. He got hurt. They didn't let him. And then it turns out there was video or pictures of him walking in a terminal. And it looked like it, but it was just a picture of a past, terminal walk kind of thing, right? So he wasn't even on. Vancouver never even gave the okay for him to come. So that was like a tactic that was used to kind of maybe scare Team Canada. And then on top of it, McAvoy got a shoulder virus. I don't know what that is.
I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of it. And apparently Team Boston, Don Sweeney, GM of Boston, who's our GM of Canada, is not very happy with Team USA and how they dealt with it because I guess it could have been maybe a little bit more preventive. He might be gone for a little bit as the regular season starts up again.
Interesting.
But McAvoy being out does play a big role. Can we say it now out loud? This should have been a best 2 out of 3. It really should have been.
Man, that's.
I don't know if the world could handle it.
No, this was appropriate. This was appropriate.
Right.
I hope that all they do
Yeah.
is this again, like just do the Four Nations. If we could really do this and just replace the All-Star game, but just add the skills competition. Nobody wants to see the game anymore.
Yeah, well, not now.
Not now that you have this, no one wants to see the game anymore.
So let me ask you a question now. Out of 10, like be realistic, very honest.
Yeah.
Out of 10, what do you give this entire experience? Four Nations.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I won't give it a 10 only for the sake of there's always going to be room for improvement when you do the inaugural, okay? Mm-hmm. So I'm just doing that, I'm being political in my answer. Yeah. Emotionally, this was a 10, but I'm just going to give it a 9.
Okay.
And the reason is you replaced the All-Star game.
Right.
You did something. I credit the NHL. NHL, you're always looking.
Yeah.
You're always looking. And I think the NHL as a league needs a little bit of credit here. The NHL is the first people to go in and say, let's put a flag in Vegas.
Yeah.
The NHL is the first people to say, you know what? Let's keep trying to change the All-Star game break just to be better.
Right.
The NHL's listening and looking and bringing in the fan engagement, whatever it is. And then they go and they do something like this. And they say, fine, you know what? We'll bring the players back to the Olympics. I get it. We're going to do this Four Nations. They just put a checkmate on all other sports. Why? Because when you're watching all other sports, namely the NBA, Turn around.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Hey.
Okay? We'll get to you. Everyone talked about it. Every single sport talked about how the NHL might have figured out the recipe to actually have an all-star game or, communion of great players mean something again.
Yeah.
Okay? So NHL, kudos to you.
I would say if I could give it a ranking out of 10, I would give it a 9.5. And that 0.5 is really one small thing. Russia. That's it. That's all you were missing.
I don't disagree, but
I would just say
who
that.
missed it now?
No one. And 4 makes it better than 5 in a weird way. Because, the more the merrier, really.
Well,
at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I mean, Russia would have just made it a little bit more fun. I just really do. I mean, they do all the time. They're like Greeks at a party. You got a couple Greeks, you got a couple Russians. Trust me, it's gonna be a good party. It's not a bad thing.
You're not wrong. For the sake of how it ended now. See, the power of hindsight is huge because you get this Canada-US in that type of fashion.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant. But it could have been it could have been US-Sweden, for example.
Yeah, well, listen, Sweden didn't lose any games in regulation. They just kept losing in overtime.
So it could, I know, right?
Right? So Sweden was right there.
So at that point, you say, oh, what if you had the Russians? But they got to figure out a way now to do that. And maybe it's just, as simple as bring in 8 nations and just elimination off the hop.
I hear you. Yeah, like a quick little in and out. Yeah, first in, first serve. Yeah, boom, boom.
Just 2 and 2 on each of the bracket and just get to the final.
Not a bad idea, which is something maybe they'll do next year.
Maybe.
And that's a good point. Real quick, I know a lot of the players that were in this tournament, and I'm talking about everybody now. Was there a player that stood out for you? Like McKinnon ended up winning the tournament MVP. And I got to be honest with you. I know he's a great player. We've dubbed him the best player in the National Hockey League right on this very podcast. McDavid scores the winner, okay? Billington was there anyone that kind of surprised you that is great, but you're like, man, that guy's even better than I thought? Or somebody you're like, they say he's that good, eh? And that you didn't see it. Anything like that hit you?
So the first thing that I noticed, because I was paying attention to it, was the whole Cirelli, Jarvis, Hagel contingent.
Right.
So number one, when I'm like, you know what? Yeah, shame on all of us. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Who surprised me? Who was there? I got to tell you, the Tkachuk boys, to me, actually won the hearts of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they really showed fighting, yes, all that, but they really showed their team America.
Yeah. 100%, man. Those guys deserve, who is their equivalent in other sports? I'm just trying to think. And what I mean by that is they're a little bit Charles Barkley-ish. Like, talented, outspoken, can back it up, can do their thing. They should go in the Hall of Fame when, and I do use the word when, the NHL did one thing this whole last 2 weeks, okay? They made the American people aware that hockey's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, my buddy said it a second ago and we're going to get into it. NBA, you're on call. You guys are faltering everywhere. Where no one could say one bad thing about hockey this entire 2 weeks, all I heard about the NBA, they got to do this. They got to do that. You got to do. When there's fighting inside, it's even worse than you think on the outside. Yeah. And the NHL, I don't know if they're second now in terms of sports, but in my books, they are. It's NFL, NHL, which is what this podcast is heavy on, and then NBA and MLB. But I'm telling you right now, MLB and NBA, you guys for my attention purposes, NBA still beats out MLB, but it's not as much as you think it is. I'm telling you.
Who surprised you? Who were?
I was going to say the Tkachuks, but if I have to throw one other, I was.
But I mean, are there two people here?
Are there? No, the guy, I'll be honest with you. It's this Makar thing. I got to be honestly. I am not saying that Makar, I've never said it. And you guys know me. I like talking about McDavid and Draisaitl more. When everyone was like, oh, we lost because he wasn't there, I was like, really? You guys think that he's like that big of a deal? And then when I watched him against Finland, and then I watched him, I'm like, okay. When you actually pay attention to what he's doing and how he's doing it, you're like, Man, he's doing it a lot easier than everyone else. Like a Gretzky, like the McDavid. He's just that more fluid, better, faster, understands. And, and I love hockey, but it's hard for me to like just focus on one guy. I got to watch the whole thing open up, right? You know what I mean? Like I like the bird's eye view of watching the game. When you actually sit there and concentrate on one guy, there is a big difference. There is.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Cale Makar, if he was a defenseman in the 80s and 90s, I'll go on record and say I have a very high confidence that he would have beaten Paul Coffey's points.
Ooh. Very much like a Coffey, though. Yes, very much.
He would have. I'm convinced of this because he's like McDavid on defense.
Right.
Skating capability.
Yeah.
This guy's out of control. He just plays in a tougher environment to be able to carry the puck zone to zone all the time.
Right.
And so, let's keep that in mind too, that like the greats like the Bobby Orrs and the Paul Coffeys and these people that we love,
right,
that of course we love. But look at the environment they got to play in. Like, do you really think that? And the other point is, it's not like, I'll tell you right now, Cale Makar, a lot of defensemen in the league, they can take the puck from end to end if they want.
All day.
Here's the problem.
Sure.
If they turn the puck over and they get caught, teams are so good now that odd man rush happens in a nanosecond. And so they have to be defensively even more responsible. Whereas like Bobby Orr, go look at clips, you guys. Those guys would get caught behind the net. And then, you know what I mean? Like people weren't skating as fast. Like it sometimes is a moot point. Like just go look.
I'm going to ask you one last question real quick. A lot of people say that Austin Matthews had a decent tournament. Do you believe that?
No, and because
okay, I'm not crazy, right?
No, I don't think he had a good tournament at all.
Neither do I.
Guys,
where does everyone think he had a good tournament? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Guys,
he got 2 apples. Yeah, and okay, he got 2. He's not an apple guy. He's an apple pick. He's an apple gatherer. He's a scorer.
Guys,
I don't understand.
Guys, Toronto is not going to win a cup if Austin Matthews doesn't get a little Kachuk Miller in him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need. That's the grit. I saw this guy sitting. Listen to me.
Yeah.
There's 2 players from the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Mitch Marner stood out.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely he did.
Mitch Marner stood out. Passion, playing. And for all you Mitch Marner, everyone knocks him because of this and that. He's the smaller of the 2. He's the guy that everyone's like, well, maybe he's a little bit soft. Soft? He was everywhere and everywhere. And you looked at him, and I have a bigger respect for the Mitch Marner now.
Thank you.
And you know me.
Hey.
I love my Mitches.
Hey, who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Come on.
The world's a better place. You
With
got
the
to have
Mitches.
more Mitch.
More Mitch.
Right? You're going to want that Mitch Bell. But I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Mitch.
That's good. I like that.
So the thing is with Matthews,
yeah.
he sits quiet on the bench. He was non-existent. There was never a point where you looked at a game and said, the Matthews goal scorer is a factor. We talked about everybody else.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. One last thing I wrote in my notes.
And I want to say, because there's something that's called the eye test. I don't care about your statistics sometimes. I don't care about, I know the game better than you and he did this. No, I don't care about that. I care about sometimes the eye test.
Yeah. Last thing, because everyone was giving Billington a hard time, right? Everyone. I'm going to say this. He's not a shower. He's a grower. That's it. That's all I'm just saying.
That's it.
And one last thing. If I'm John Cooper, by the way, do you not just lock into every Canadian game that you're involved in now as a Tampa Bay coach and just finger everybody? Where everyone was giving you a hard time. Like, you only pick the guys you like. And just walk around. Full Stone Cold Steve Austin. Middle fingers up. And everyone, by the way, they're going to shower you with standing ovations. I know Calgary will.
This guy's amazing, man. This guy's amazing.
Okay. We're off to the NBA real quick. There isn't a lot to talk about, but we do have a couple of quick little things we want to talk about. Yep. March Madness is around the corner. Dimitri, go ahead. NBA All-Star, you want to talk about it?
I want to talk about it. The NBA All-Star game, I'm going to give you... Okay, now, you in the corner, turn around.
It's time. Hey.
Come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Come on. Sit down over here.
Come here. Sit down.
Yeah,
hey, Look up. You look at me when I'm talking to you.
In his eyes.
Okay? Take the dunce cap off. Okay?
No, leave it on.
Listen, NBA All-Star Game. I'm going to start with the positive. I don't always got to be negative, but I'm going to start with the positive. The positive is that you guys elected to do this 4-team, young stars, rookies, all this stuff, okay?
Yeah.
So I will say that was the most competitive All-Star game I've seen maybe in the last almost decade.
Okay.
For the NBA.
Okay.
But that statement that I just said doesn't mean much.
No.
Because it went from here, where if this is the bottom and you're here, it just went up to here. Does it take the Greeks all the time to just figure everything out for all of you? Not just Mitch and I, but what about Giannis?
Yeah.
Who says USA versus the world?
Yeah.
Get it done.
Get it done.
You just saw the Four Nations do it. It's a game that's going to mean something. Because here's one thing I did notice. I noticed that the older, like the OGs, Shaq's OGs.
Yeah.
What I noticed is when they were playing against the rookies,
Yep.
they didn't want to lose.
Oh, no.
They didn't want to lose. And if we all learned a big lesson, is that when it comes to national pride, it trumps all.
Yeah.
That's why the World Cup is successful. That's why the Four Nations is successful. That's why the Olympics is successful. That's why your All-Star game, if you want it to be successful, put flags behind it and just get it done. Because you remember, you're playing this for the passionate fan. And if you don't have your heart in it, and you know what the best thing is I was watching NBA All-Star Weekend, and the best part of it is that every single analyst, commentary desk, whoever it was just they found a way to mention Four Nations in your All-Star game.
Exactly.
They were mentioning hockey in your All-Star game because your All-Star game sucks. And I'm going to throw something else out there.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the PK Subbans and all that are vocal because you sons of bitches are earning 50, 60 plus $1 million a year in the most pound-for-pound paid sport across the globe. And you guys look like just absolute children.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's brutal.
It was.
You can't have LeBron James go in the dunk competition. Do you want to know why, LeBron? Because you're too worried about your ego knowing that you can't win. Because guess what? The G League guy is out dunking the NBA stars.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Come on, boys. So here's who I credited. Power rankings. The power rankings. Okay? Here's who are the biggest Magas in basketball right now. Wembanyama. I'm watching you in the All-Star game.
Boom.
Blocking shots. Putting effort in.
Reading books before the game.
Reading books. Trey Young.
Yeah.
Trey Young, you're coming in saying, hey, I got the call. I want to be here.
I got called up.
Right? Okay? Lillard.
Eh?
This guy wants to shoot some threes.
He wants to win a championship is what he wants.
Okay, so guys, these are the guys. Don't tank them for us.
Yeah.
Okay, don't spoil them for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm going to say two things on top of what you said. Excellent rant. Player involvement, okay? The reason that the Four Nations worked, because the players were invested. They go, we got to make our sport better.
Yeah.
We're going to help NHL. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You flip the bill, we'll take care of the product. NBA, you don't have that. They are trying every little trick to try to trick us. They're giving us swag when we know. They're giving us hats to make us feel like we got something. Garbage. When Draymond Green, a current player, is an analyst on the show just for fun, and they ask him, out of 10, what do you give it? He goes, 0. Your own player who's got to talk to his boys after the game, like a Curry, and he's going, this was a 0 out of 10 product. That's all you need to hear. Boom, done, finished.
And Draymond Green, I got to give this guy credit. I got some respect. I got some respect for this guy.
Put some respect on his name.
You keep Draymond's name. Listen, he was sitting there on the desk too, Mitch. I don't know if you caught this one. And he goes, why are the rookies here?
Yeah.
And he's not wrong.
Yeah.
But here's the problem, Draymond. Unfortunately, the rookies brought it out of you guys.
Yes, that's a good point.
The rookies brought it out of you. But fundamentally, I agree with you.
Yeah.
He's like, when you were selected as an all-star, you were there because you're with the best of the best. You guys, the players, the NBA players' crew
Yeah.
has destroyed the NBA.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Okay,
It's very well
the
said.
players have actually destroyed the NBA because all of you are buddies now.
Mm-hmm.
All of you are getting together and saying, guys, we don't need to do the three anymore. We don't need to do the dunk anymore. We don't need to do all this stuff. Like, you know what? Let's just stick to our guns. We got to get paid. We got to do this load management, this,
Yeah,
that, or
yeah.
whatever.
Well said.
Who the hell are you guys?
Yeah.
Who the hell are you guys? I can't play more than 60 games because I'm tired. I can't go on an all-star game because, I on the prize. Big picture over here. For crying out loud, you're not even body checking, you guys.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so bad that you guys are about 3 feet taller than every NHL player out there. There is a lack of physicality to your game, and you're watching NHL players at the highest point at 10 million taking high-stakes body checks, losing teeth, and everything over here, and you guys just can't play court.
Yeah.
You
No
guys
hand
can't
checking,
play,
no nothing.
no hand checking,
Yeah.
no, not really. And then you guys want to sit here and talk about that you guys are some of the best of all time and that you're shattering records. You know what? Forget that. Enough is enough. I will say this. There is no player since Michael Jordan that is of significance
Well said. Agreed.
in the NBA. Those guys would eat you for lunch.
Well, everything you said all starts at the top. And who's at the top when you talk about all the players?
LeBron James.
And when he shows up an hour before the All-Star game starts in street clothes and didn't have the fact to tell his team, hey, we're playing they were grouped in the fours, teams of 8. He didn't dress. Giannis didn't play either, but he dressed. He goes, just in case you guys need me, I'll be dressed. I'll be on the bench, but I'm not going to play.
Agreed.
LeBron didn't even get dressed. He sat there and he took somebody's position away. Norman Powell for the Clippers right now is having a phenomenal season. He used to play for the Raptors. This guy could have got the call up. He's in LA. He's down the street in San Francisco, man. Could have came in. You would have gave that guy that elevation in his pride. But no, LeBron wanted to be LeBron. Even Stephen A. Smith, the Sharps, all those guys that usually defend him, even agreed. Bottom line, NBA, a lot of growing up to do. And you guys have followed, man. It's bad. It's worse than I thought. How's that? It's worse than I thought.
You know, the only one I should say, I mean, Steph Curry and LeBron James, obviously, okay, and Kobe Bryant. Let's call it here. I'm doing a rant, and I'm trying to make a point. But the point is that they're soft, they're weak, they're the ones that are ruining the game. You know, when you got the Butlers during midseason, playing post on contracts, right before the All-Star game, when you got people that are just looking for, the max contracts without having any sort of, it just sickens me right now. And then when you have people at the top that talk about the product of the game, you guys are the ones that have to lead the charge.
That's right. You got to do it.
I honestly wish, I was hoping that the rookies were going to win.
Listen, I don't know. They're never going to do it again. It is too bad they didn't. But would it have really changed anything? The answer is no.
Oh, and by the way, fan, how about you, fan?
Yeah.
Stop going.
Stop going. Exactly. Stop going. You just guys want autographs. That's all.
Yeah, just stop. We should just stop going to these games.
I'll tell you what I want. Rapid banter.
Okay.
The New York Yankees had got rid of the rule where players have to be clean-shaven and have short hair. Is this a game changer for the evil empire?
Ooh, it's the beginning of the end.
Aaron Rodgers was told by the New York Jets management last week, your services are no longer needed. Where does Aaron go?
Were they even started?
Carson Wentz was back up to Mahomes this year. His old team, and they played their old team in the Super Bowl, as we all know. A whole bunch of guys that got traded for Wentz won a Super Bowl. Does Wentz have the opposite of what Brady has?
Somehow Nick Foles is the winner here.
So true. Robert Pattinson, better known for his role in Twilight, used to be loved by millions of young girls. Today, he's loved by more younger men because of his role as Batman. What role would you rather be, the vampire guy or the Batman guy?
The only hero that Gotham needs.
Last one. Last question. So, are we really the 51st state, Or is USA now the 11th province?
Wow, 11th province.
There it is, Rapid Banter. Boom, done. All right. Last segment's Maga Malaka. Look, I didn't do a peruse because literally it was all NHL.
Okay.
But I found something yesterday. Miami's Nude Cruise is set to roll. It's Maga Malaka, things to pack for the Nude Cruise. Are you ready?
Ooh, are you even...
Sunscreen, Maga or Malaka?
Maga.
Maga.
There's just some places
Yeah.
where you don't need to get
Agreed.
burned.
A hat.
Yeah, Maga.
Yeah, you need that.
Maga.
Incognito.
Yeah,
mode.
Maga. You know, it's,
Yeah.
it ties it all together.
How about a watch? You need a watch on the Nude Cruise?
No, Malaka. Number one, you shouldn't be, you're on a cruise, you're on vacation.
That's right.
You don't need time. You shouldn't be worried about time.
That's right.
And tan lines.
Swear to God, I had that written down. Your passport, Maga or Malaka? Yeah, this is me. Buddy, I have a feeling one day they're going to probably want that from us. What do you think?
Sign me up. Now I'm just bragging. Passport Maga, you need that. You need that to travel.
All right. What about a fanny pack or a K-way? Remember the K-ways?
Yeah.
You take one of those, put them around your waist, walk around the cruise with one of those puppies?
No. You know what? No, I say Malaka. You're making
It's almost like clothes.
You're
isn't
making a commitment.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's almost
You're
like now
you're making a commitment. Yeah,
so
that's true.
leave it at the hotel.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, here's one. And I mean, it's kind of essential, especially if you're on a cruise. A life jacket, Maga or Malaka?
Well, no. No, look, Malaka, number
Right.
one, counts as clothes. Number two,
It's a vest.
You don't want to.
It's in the word.
You don't want to be that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like now you're just broadcasting that you can't swim.
That's right.
Don't broadcast it. Just say, nah. You know what? I can't. I got the sunscreen on,
Yeah.
and I can't get wet. I just have to be at the bar.
Okay, couple more. Sunglasses, Maga or Malaka?
You know what? I'm gonna go Malaka, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you why. Because if you're going on a nude cruise,
Yeah.
what'd you call it?
Yeah, it's called a nude cruise.
Oh, nude cruise. Okay. So if you're going on a nude cruise,
Right.
you see, wearing sunglasses is to hide the fact that you're looking.
Right.
If you're representing yourself,
Right.
you should have the right to know when and who and how people are looking.
That's a good point. And on top of it, what are you trying to hide? I mean, you don't want people to recognize you if
Yeah.
you're putting glasses on, but you're okay with not wearing pants.
Yeah.
I-
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
So Malaka.
You got to Malaka it.
See, that's why you wear the hat.
That's right.
That'll block you from the sun.
There it is. That's just the way it's got to be.
It's got the way it's got to be.
Socks, Maga or Malaka on the nude cruise?
Malaka.
Malaka, yeah.
Malaka.
Okay, that would obviously probably the sandals, kind of in the same effect, right?
I'm okay with the sandal.
You're okay with the sandal.
That type of footwear.
You need it.
You need it.
It's
You can
slippery.
get-
That deck can get slippery.
well, the deck can get slippery. And that hand, foot, mouth disease.
Let me ask you this one. This is what I was controversial on putting in, and I saw it after. Okay, so you'll ask somebody, or
Here
you're
we
talking
go.
to somebody, and you're like,
no.
hey, how do you, like, when you go to bed, do you wear pajamas? No, I sleep in the nude. But if you're on a nude cruise, do you bring pajamas, and you're the pajama guy on the nude cruise? You see what I'm saying?
See, I go Maga because it's opposite
It's
skis.
opposite skis. You can get back to the clothes in the room
in the room to go to bed.
to go to bed.
Yeah. I like that.
You like that one?
Okay.
Last one. I mean, there are beautiful dinners and buffets and everything, but mostly for the big dinner they do. Bow tie on the nude cruise, Maga or Malaka?
I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice touch only at certain restaurants. Like
That's
if they
it.
required you to wear a jacket,
Yeah.
maybe if you just had a quick little Chippendales bow tie.
Just if there is, I'm just saying, if there's lobster on this, you might not want to wear the bow tie.
Yeah, and the other thing too is maybe, just maybe, avoid soup.
Soups. Yeah, good point. Good.
Avoid those really hot meals.
Watch those swells in the water. There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
You didn't think we could do it without it, with all the other?
Come on.
Hey,
come
on.
You want to talk about a nude cruise?
You were very passionate about NBA today. I didn't
was.
realize how mad you were about the NBA.
I was mad. Yeah, I was very mad about the NBA.
Yeah, you were.
Oh, you want to know what I'm not mad about?
What's that?
The Sports Show at Sports Show Podcast, episode 344. It's one for the books. We got to shove it in the locker because we do got to hit the showers.
Boom.
I'll tell you why I'm mad, because it's all coming together. It's almost like, why did you let me why did you let me have a look in over here at
Right.
someone doing something better?
Yeah.
And then this happened. And then it all just came tumbling down. Because I think what gets me so mad about the whole thing, Mitch, is, you know, you got the way that they're carrying themselves, the way that the superstars are carrying themselves.
Yeah.
And they're part of the problem.
There, you hit it bang on. Actually, you hit it. It's very much the click that's there.
Yeah.
They don't realize. Yes, you guys are ultra popular, but you guys are actually hurting the game too. Like
Yeah.
you're not making it fun, man. You guys are staying so safe. You're not having any fun.
So I'm convinced. Like now that I look at it, like no one would beat the Bulls.
No.
Nobody beats the. Actually, I'll say this. I don't think Golden State Warriors beat the Pistons.
I'm not joking you. They wouldn't. The old Pistons would have just pummeled them. Like, oh, everyone's got 4 fouls. Yep. But that's why there's a bench. That's the whole like reason of benching. You know, you'll bring that guy in. He's got 3 fouls. He's gonna maul you. Yeah, man. It's such a different game now than it was when we grew up. It's such a different game. And for all those that are like, oh, you guys are old school. You guys are thinking, well, that's fine. How about your NBA guys play old school rules for a minute? Because that's how they kind of grew up a little bit. But let them play old school rules. And I bet you'll like the game a lot better. I promise you, actually, in fact, you'll like it a lot better.
You're gonna like the game better.
Yeah.
Right now they're talking about needing to move the 3-point line. That's not the fix.
That's not the fix.
No, the fix is you allow players a little more liberty on defense.
I think the whole idea that somebody feels very compelled to come down on a fast break and spot up even where the 3 is today and shoot it rather than trying to get an easy bucket or a dunk or something just shows you how bad the whole transition game is and everything like that.
Agreed.
It's silly. You think this is a better opportunity than running up and knocking off the backboard and putting it in. That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's just nuts.
It is nuts. But yeah.
You know what else is nuts? This show is nuts. We'll see you next week. Glad you're back, partner. Glad you're back.
Thank you.
Bum.
One else is nuts?
What's that?
D's.
She don't know the difference between this and them. Now you about to witness what freedom is. So now
W, we're Saved by the Bell by the Sports Show, playing every week. Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Sports Show TV, at Sports Show Podcast. Amy, do it. At Sports Show Podcast.
Locked in.
Amy can do anything.
She's the best.